Hey folks, welcome to Peter Larmond Outdoors, the podcast. I'm your host, Peter Larmond, and thank you for tuning in to us today. Today, January 22nd, 2019, and man, it's freezing cold out there. We're at the tail end of this major deep freeze that has hit eastern Canada and the Midwest to eastern United States. Hopefully everyone is staying warm, and soon we will go back to enjoying some of the outdoors. If you're out there, I hope you're dressed for it, because it sure is cold. Now, enough about the weather. I know you didn't tune in to hear me talk about the weather. Today on the show, I'm excited to have back a couple that I'm honored to call my friends. These are great people. They do amazing things for the fishing community. I want to welcome back Ronnie and Ann Parker, owners of Lake Fork Trophy Lures and Rod Socks. Welcome back, Parker family.
Thank you, Peter. We really appreciate your having us on.
You know, it's great having you guys back on the show. And for those of you that don't know where Lake Fork is, it's in Emory, Texas, home of one of the best bass fisheries in the country. And some huge weights come out of there when the pros from the touring events show up. How are things down in Lake Fork?
Well, until we listened to you a moment ago, we thought we were freezing, but to us, 50 degrees is really cold, and to you, that's a heat wave. So I don't feel so bad as I did 5 minutes ago.
Oh, 50 degrees, we'd be out in shorts and a t-shirt. So I know, Ronnie, you made a big announcement last week over social media, and I really want to get to that. However, before we do that, briefly tell our listeners about Lake Fork Trophy Lures and the products that you guys offer.
I'll be happy to, Peter. And first of all, we're a little over 21 years old. The company, I started the company with a fishing guide here, and since that time, our first lure was a ring fry. For those of you that fish our ring fry, it's still one of our very best soft plastic lures. And we make our own soft plastic lures right here in Emory in our factory. It's about 11,000 square foot building. We now have more than 40 molds, which means 40 different lures and a huge amount of colors. So we stay really busy, and we sell to a lot of dealers across not just the U.S., but also Canada, Europe. So, in 21 years, we've been proud to accumulate a really good reputation for quality, and we have always been customer service oriented to a great degree, because my background is that of being in the hospitality business for 30 plus years. So we're really happy where we've come from. We're always introducing new lures. We've got 2 that have come out in the last couple of months. And by the way, I'll send you some of those for you to do whatever you want with. And we're just happy to be a 21-year-old company that's growing and building relationships across not just the U.S., but Canada. We have a few dealers in Canada, and we're proud of that. We are very, very happy to have come where we've come from to where we think we're now going, and we'll get into that, as you said, in a few minutes.
You know what? You kind of look at the products that you guys have, and as you said, 21 years in the business is commendable, and it's not something that is common nowadays. You get all these tackle companies, they kind of, I call them like flash in the pan type deals, right? They make a lure, it's great, it sells like wildfire for the next couple of years, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And but as you said, for 21 years, you've been continuing to bring out new products and innovative products and stuff that's not on the market. It's not common. It's one of, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess. And I think it's great. I mean, I love using your products. I've used them for years, and it's not just for bass. You guys have products for all species of fish.
In this day and age, with all the competition, it's extremely hard to sustain one's growth. And as I mentioned a moment ago, our first lure we're still selling tons of, and that's our original ring fry and the baby ring fry. So, it's a lure that stood the test of time for 21 years, and we rarely ever, I'm not sure we've ever discontinued a bait, frankly, in 21 years. And there's a reason for that. We don't throw a lot of new stuff out there every year and just see what happens. We test beyond belief. We have one of the best fisheries in the world right here on Lake Fork. We test. We use guides to test. We use our pro staffers to test across the U.S. And So we feel like it's important to make sure the lure is going to work before we pull the trigger on buying a new mold to roll it out there. So I think that's part of the reason for our success. You know, we have always tried to do that so that we don't have the throwing away of molds after 2 or 3 years. And I think if you'll ask anybody in the industry about us, they'll tell you that we're extremely customer service conscious on a personal level with anyone who wants to talk to us. We give our cell phones to our customers, whether they be dealers or whether they be users, end users. And then we really focus on not just making great lure, but testing it before we make it. So that's what we feel like our success has been attributed to.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys, I mean, I have never called and not been able to talk to either one of you, and even in this day and age, as everyone is busy, I mean, I can attest to, we get emails all the time, and we don't answer them right away because, we're busy. We're out doing something or whatever the case may be. But I have never not gotten a response, whether it's via email, whether it's a voicemail or just been able to talk to you right then and there. And again, that is something, as you mentioned earlier, being in the hospitality or coming from the hospitality business, that customer service is number one. And by far, there was no arguments there at all.
Well, thank you for saying that. And let me tell you one more thing that causes. When we treat people the way we want to be treated, I'll give you a living example of today. I called Kelly Jordan, and he picked up on the second or third ring. And, when you treat people the way you want to be treated, guess what you get back in return?
Absolutely.
Same thing.
Yep.
So it's like we say, you reap what you sow. So, I guarantee you there are a lot of people calling Kelly Jordan every day, and he just doesn't have time to call everybody back the first day. But, when you have the kind of relationship that we have with people, whether it be Jason Christie or Edwin Evers or whomever, even though we're not a sponsor of theirs, we try to treat them well on things that they'd like to have from us, and we don't go around running our mouth. I guess I just did, but I won't tell you what they use, and I won't tell you anything, but occasionally they'll call us for a certain lure.
Sure.
And ironically enough, we tell them, hey, you don't ever have to mention us. And I'll tell you right now, I had 2 high-level pros, I've already mentioned one of them, that came on after last year's Master Classic, and when they were asked what their 2 top lures were, one of them finished 7th and one of them finished 3rd or 4th, when they asked them on a video what their top 2 lures were, shockingly to me, both of them mentioned an LFT lure, soft plastic lure. It was the same lure.
Right.
And, you know what happens in the springtime, and you can guess what that lure was as a trailer, but that just, it blew me away, and I didn't expect it. So, I would hope your listeners understand that if they call me up or call my wife Ann up, they're going to talk to us. If we're on the line, we'll call them right back. So we think that's a difference maker in this industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's that first class people skills or people. I don't even know how to say it, but it's where you're actually talking to someone, and it's someone that actually cares what you have to say, and it's not just yeah, okay, goodbye.
Thanks, Peter.
100%. Probably, I mean, next to the products, that was probably the thing that caught me, in all honesty, that caught me by surprise the first time I had made contact, and I believe I spoke with Ann. That it was, hi, I'm Ann Parker, and I think we spoke for probably about 20, 25 minutes. And I'm sitting here going, wow, this is phenomenal, you know what I mean? But no, absolutely, kudos to you guys, that's fantastic. Speaking of Ann, now I know, Ann, you've got a little something else that you've gotten into as well that's kind of added on to the plastics or the lures that Lake Fork Trophy have, and that's something that protects your rods. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir. It's called the Rod Sox, RODSOX. It is a protective rod cover for your rod. Not only does it protect it from getting broken or bent, the ease that it comes off the rod, there's no tangling of your line. You get your guides jammed or caught. So we tell you to fight your fish, not your rod.
And that's...
Our rod stock, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We do know we have there's a lot of people who use covers or protectors for their rods, but the reason we think our rod stocks are the highest quality rod protectors out there are for a couple of reasons. One is we reinforce the tip. We had a lot of people come in the store and say, I put a cover on my rod, but the tip went right through the end, and my tip is not protected. So we reinforce the tip where the tip of the rod will not go through our rod stock, and also put a hard piece where that if you bump the tip, our rod stock takes the first brunt, not the tip of your rod. We improved the density of the mesh. We almost doubled what's currently out there, which means the guides do not go through the mesh. So when you're taking it on and off, the guides are not caught in it. Again, you put a rod stock on to protect your rod, not to have the guide get stuck in the mesh and bent or broken trying to take it on and off. And the final one is that we put a rubber-like mouth on the reel end of the rod stock. What that does is it seals the mesh, keeps it from fraying or raveling. Most other people have all take it and crimp it, fold it under, and then you have a ridge that you have to walk over each of your guides on the way off. But if you cradle that rubber mouth in your hand and run it down the spine, it's off in about 1 to 2 seconds. It's off and you're fishing.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. I've had the pleasure of using them, and you're right. There are others out there, but I found that as you mentioned, I guess the extra weaving or the thickness in the weaving of the actual sock itself. My guides didn't go through. Whether you're using micro guides or just your traditional guides, I find that they don't go through the meshing. And you're right, the reinforced tip that you have, I've never had a tip go through my rod sock.
And but people put a lot of your bass guys, they put their rods in the rod box, and they're telling me too that now they can carry a lot more rods with them. First, because they're not tangled and knotted, and secondly, if the tip is protected with a rod stock, they could put two into a single hole as opposed to one as before. And some people have taken everything out of the box completely, the rod box, and they're just stacking them up one on top of the other because there's no way to get them tangled anymore.
That's true. And I've got a Nitro Z9, and I know in my rod box I've got the tubes to place my rods in. And I know since I've been using the rod sock, I can double up my rods per hole, which is allowing me now to carry, in excess of 20 rods if I want in my box without getting them tangled, and can pull them out with ease and not worry about, breaking any guides or getting my guides caught into something or whatever. And like you said, the black, the mouth, let's call it the mouth of the sock itself. That reinforced rubber at the end is incredible, and I encourage anybody that's looking for, whether you don't have to have a boat. The cool thing about it is you can take these in your truck, you put them in your car or wherever. Your lines don't get tangled, your rods don't get tangled. You pull the rod, it's right there. You got to check these out. Rod Socks, and as Ann said, RODSOX. .com. You guys got to check them out. These are a phenomenal product.
If you have just a minute, we had carried them from 6 foot to 8 foot at every 6-inch increment, so that rubber mouth falls midway between that lowest guide and your reel. We don't want it too short, but we definitely don't want it down hanging in the reel. Mm-hmm. So we offer you 5 lengths, but we now have come out with all the way up to 16-footers. For
oh wow,
people who are fishing for fly fishermen, people catching steelhead, running the river, your crappie guys. So now any rod you have that's pretty much a freshwater rod will fit into our rod stocks all the way up to 16 feet.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Again, guys, you got to check this out. Rodsock.com. The product is phenomenal. It'll save you just the aggravation alone of untangling your rods, whether it's in a box or in your pickup or in the back of the van or the car or whatever the case may be. It will protect the equipment it's almost like an insurance policy, right? We spend a pile of money on rods and reels and stuff like that, and why not protect them for a fraction of the cost?
Thank you.
Folks, we got to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right after these words. So stay tuned. We have more with Ronnie and Ann Parker from Lake Fork Trophy Lures and Rodsock. Hey folks, welcome back. If you're just tuning in to us, today on the show, we have my good friends Ronnie and Ann Parker from Lake Fork Trophy Lures and Rodsock. And before the break, we talked about the products that both of you offer to your customers. I'd also mentioned earlier, Ronnie, that you had a major announcement that you made over social media last week, which was very huge. Not only for Lake Fork Trophy Lures, but for anglers everywhere. Can you tell us about this big announcement?
Hey, I'll be happy to. As I said, we're 21 plus years old, but I have been working on this for 3 or 4 months because I think the industry is in dire need of a new program, and there are some of these companies out there today, a small number, but we think as a lure manufacturer as well as a dealer, both wholesale and as we sell to distributors and dealers, and we also sell retail. But in this program, we're calling Hooked Up Fishing by Lake Fork Trophy Lures, and it is going to be a monthly subscription program. But here's why ours is going to be different. There's some out there right now. As a matter of fact, there are 2 companies out there right now, and I know them. I know some of their members, some of their owners. They're good people, but they have to go and acquire their products every month because they're not really in the lure business. They're in the subscription sales business, whereas we make our lures and we control our quality. And so we're going to have a monthly subscription service. It's the same price as my 2 competitors, $26.99 a month. And we're going to have a junior version for high schoolers and anglers 18 and under that's going to be $18.99 a month. And we're going to say nothing negative about the competition. We're simply going to point out why we're going to put out a very high quality monthly shipping of lures. We're not going to put any partial packs of lures out there. Everything we put in our package is going to be a full bag or a full package of fishing items. And we have a very small number of friendly industry partners, such as Hayabusa Hooks, which is a Japanese hook company that's been around Japan for about 45 years. They're called Fina hooks in Japan, but they're Teflon-coated, extremely high-quality hooks. And they'll be our exclusive hook that we put in a full package in every monthly bag. And we also have hooks that fit the lures, the soft plastic lures of that particular month. And our goal is to send out lures that are seasonally appropriate. And I'm going to pick them out, and I'll work very hard within the realm of, they're going to be different seasons. Like, for example, January and February here may be slightly different than in Canada and Michigan, and I understand that, but we'll do our best to make sure the lures they get, that their subscribers get, they can take the hooks and the soft plastic lures and go out fishing as soon as they get them. They won't have a mishmash of lures in there. There are partial packs that they have to figure out what they're going to do with them and when. So we're going to cater not just the quantity, but the quality to the subscribers as if we were the subscribers. We know what it is to fish. I fished for more than 60 years of my young life, being an elder gentleman. But and here's the other thing, Peter, is that while we're going to match the price of everybody else, we're also going to put in one premium item every month. And so you're going to get 3 bags of soft plastic lures minimum, a full package of hooks, of Japanese hooks, and the first month's premium item is going to be a really high-end jerkbait that's under our brand. It has a magnetic sliding weighting system that's very comparable to the 3 big companies that are out there with one today, and theirs range from $18 to $25 retail. And so we're putting ours in there the very first month. And it's a jerkbait, it suspends. Now we sell it in our store for about $15, $14, $15, but it's comparable to those higher end baits. We just try to keep our prices very reasonable for our consumers. So, and the key is when the customer gets our monthly package, they're going to know that they're getting $35 to $40 of retail value, and we're not stretching it to say that. They're going to get a lot of quality, a lot of quantity, and they're going to get access, not that they don't already have it, but we encourage them to call us with questions. I'm going to put a rigging sheet in there for the soft plastic that's there. And so we're going to try to basically revolutionize the monthly subscription business. As you already know, the monthly sales subscription business across all retail elements, from cosmetics to watches to fishing, has blown up the last 5 or 6 years. It didn't even exist 10 years ago. So we believe as a manufacturer, one, we don't have to go buy anything from anybody other than hooks, and we've got an exclusive deal worked out with Hayabusa. They're very happy for us to help them brand across the U.S. and Canada and wherever we ship these packages. And so, and then I've got a relationship with a friend of mine from Asia who we're going to let participate somewhat. So we are really excited because the overwhelming comments to us initially is we're so super excited to get a full package of things and to get matching hooks that fit those items and still to get premium items. And I'll just tell you right now, I've got a big surprise coming. In about the 4th or 5th month, I'm going to send them, I'm going to contact them through either a social media post or through email and say, we've got a big surprise for you this month. Instead of putting lures in, we're going to put in an article of clothing that is worth about $55. So we're not going to bait and switch. We're going to blow them away with respect to what we're sending. And so we're going to do things a little bit differently. And the whole key is simple for us. We want to satisfy our subscribers. We're not doing what's good for us. We're doing what's good for the subscribers. And we think it will build our customer loyalty base even more than it is today.
You know, you look back at what you said, and you're right. You know, I mean, the difference with you guys being a manufacturer, you don't have to go out and kind of have deals with other companies to put this into your monthly subscription package. And, you know, we talked about earlier, Ronnie, where you said, you know, you guys have been in business for 21 years. You're still, your initial product, the ring fry is still used today. It's still in circulation. It's still in production. And people are still using it. People are still catching fish on your products that you've had 21 years ago. And so that in itself is kind of puts a feather in your cap as far as your monthly subscription package goes. The second part, as you mentioned, is you're getting a full package. I'm not getting a sample pack. I'm getting a full package. So now as an angler, now, you know, this goes to tournament guys, to the weekend warrior, to the cottage goer that may only go out, you know, once a weekend when they actually get to the cottage, or even the people that only go fishing when they take a 2-week vacation when they go camping. What a great thing to get into. When I look at it, you know, when I look at, and I know what you're talking about, and we're not going to name them on the show, but when we talk about the other monthly subscription tackle packages you can get, I'm not getting samples and going, if I don't know, again, let's not talk tournament guys. Let's talk about the weekend people and the people that only go out fishing maybe once or twice a year. They get this monthly package and they go, I don't know how to hook this up. I don't even know what it's for. Whereas, as you mentioned, you know, you're going to get full bags of product of the plastics. You're going to get the proper hooks for it. Again, as you mentioned, full package of hooks to complement the bait that you're actually receiving. So, you know, so putting it in layman's terms, if I'm using a 5-inch bait, you're not going to give me a size 1 circle hook.
Right. You hit it right on the head. And you're an experienced accomplished angler, you quickly understand the differences that those things make to the end subscriber. So we're just trying really hard to make them customer service oriented, and with the things we've already shared with some potential subscribers, it makes my heart really get pleased by the response we're getting initially just after less than a week. It's really, really rewarding to hear those comments. And, we have a lot of friends across Canada and have for a number of years. And we respect you, and we've kept in touch with you as much as anybody, and it's because we respect you so much. But you've always been a very loyal person who's kept up with our product line, kept up with our success, and we'll always be grateful for that. And nothing's going to change with that. But even some of your friends and my friends, such as, I used to be Big Dave Mercer, now he's Little Dave Mercer because he lost a bunch of weight.
Right.
We try really hard to be friends with everybody. We encourage you to call us at any time that you have questions. We're going to obviously send you one of these packages for you to monitor it each month and let us know what you think, and we'll listen to your suggestions. And, you know our number. I don't mind sharing it at the end of this conversation, but, we just want to have friendly faces as customers everywhere across the countries that we do business in, and I'm just so fortunate, and we're blessed to have you as a friend.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It truly, truly does. In this industry, and I'm going to get off tangent here, but in this industry, there's a lot of how do I put it without getting myself into trouble? There's a lot of backstabbing that goes on. There's a lot of backdoor politics. Let's put it that way. And I, having been in this industry I just turned 50, and I was fishing tournaments with my dad when I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So having done this for a long time, having seen the business side of it, I can. You saying that to me means a lot to me, and thank you for that. I think your subscription package that you have out, what you've talked about, I think it's going to set you guys leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. You've to steal a line from the Ford commercial, you've become the bar. You're not raising the bar. You've become the bar to these monthly subscription packages, and I cannot see you guys not being successful with it. And I think the other cool thing about it, in all honesty, both Ronnie and Ann, is with this package, you've got not only, you're not catering just to one type of angler. You're catering to everybody. And as I mentioned, to the tournament guy, to all the way down to the person that goes out, maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, depending where they live, what they do. And that's a cool thing. Fishing is a passion of mine. It's a passion of both of you guys, and you could tell that in your product, and you can tell that now in this new program you guys just launched. And I think we're always trying to get more people into fishing, and we're especially kids and whatever, more tackle boxes and less X boxes, and you guys are taking that to the next level.
Peter, I'm so glad you brought that back up, because these junior packages are priced downward at a point where we think a lot of those young women and men, because there are a lot of women getting into high school fishing now. We sponsor several hundred high school teams across the country, and there's very few things that give my wife and me more pleasure in fishing than seeing all these young anglers come into our shop who are just starved for knowledge, and we feel great to be a part of that. And getting back to one last thing you said, you mentioned the fact that our package will be of a quality to be effective to not just the tournament angler, but to beginning anglers. And that's not hard to do when you make your own lures. And that's what we do. So there'll be a broad cross-section of soft plastic in every package. And we not, as you well know, but the anglers who listen to your show may not know, we have our own spoons and have for years. It's called the Lake Fork Flutter Spoon. There's 4 sizes of them, 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. And then we have the jerk baits. We have had crankbaits, and we'll have crankbaits again relatively soon. So, we don't just have soft plastics anymore, but our colors are exemplary. We try to be really innovative in all that we do. So I just thank you for giving us a chance to talk about our package. I probably should mention, too, we're going to try to keep the price. That $26.99 is a U.S. price. The only difference in the Canadian price will be the shipping differential, which is not a whole lot. And the price value to either one is going to be exceptional. So, and if anybody in Canada or the U.S. has questions from the comments that you've allowed us to make tonight, I strongly encourage them to call us. I'll give you my cell phone right here on your show, 214-215-4442. And Ann's last 4 digits are 2221, 214-215-2221. Our website is lftlures.com, and if anybody needs to find and look at our new website, it'll be up in 2 days for Hooked Up Fishing. All they have to do is just Google Hooked Up Fishing, and it'll lead them right to the new website there. So, but one can sign up by calling us or emailing us, and I'll give you the store number. I'll give you a toll-free number, 1-800-408-2028. So we welcome, even if someone just has questions about our lures or whatever, we're not high pressure. We're not going to, do anything but answer questions and try to please customers who call or potential customers who call. Peter, okay?
Excellent. Yep. No, I know that. That's for sure. So again, folks, make sure you go check out Lake Fork Trophy Lures. And again, as Ronnie said, the website is www.lftlures.com. Also, check out the Rod Sock page, as we talked about earlier, at rodsox.com. As well, check out our Facebook page. What we'll do is we will have links once we make this show available. We'll have links to the show, as well as have links to both of their sites and Facebook pages accordingly. Ronnie and Ann, I want to thank you both for taking the time to talk to me today. I know you're both very busy, but as always, it's a pleasure talking to both of you. And I wish you nothing but success with the hookup program, and as well as the continued success with both the LFT Lures and the Rod Socks.
Peter, we're honored to have you as a friend, and we will always recognize that. You're always welcome to call us, and we feel the same way you do about your direction. We know you're going to continue to be a huge success, and don't hesitate to call us at any time you need us. We really appreciate tonight. I
appreciate it. Thanks very much, guys. Folks, Yes, ma'am.
You're always welcome to come down and come fishing. It's warmer down here.
You know what? Don't tempt me. I mean, I'm so tempted to grab that boat out of storage right now and hook her up to the back of my Chevy and just head on down to Texas. But unfortunately, there's that thing called work that I got to do. And but you know what? Lake Fork is on my bucket list, and I promise you, I'm going to make my way down there one of these days. I'll surprise you. Folks, take a kid fishing. They are the future of our sport. Practice, catch, and release, and take lots of pictures. And don't forget, work hard, but fish harder. You're listening to Peter Larman Outdoors, the podcast, and I'm your host, Peter Larman. And Lord willing, you'll join us again next week as we bring you more great people of the great outdoors. Thanks for listening.